what's the difference between what's the difference between a week before 18 and a week after?
Legal.
Wow.
The 7 days or 7 years. That's the difference between the two.
Oh my gosh.
Straight up.
When did I decide to be the only female here today?
It's just, I mean, somebody like that though really didn't give life a chance. That's really what it is.
Definitely not giving
Didn't
life
even
a
try.
chance.
And unfortunately,
and unfortunately, she was just given an environment where that was supported, rather than people hindering and actually stepping in to stop it.
She did an interview. She did an interview and said like she had already had people who she knows, like teachers, that subscribed to her thing. And
That's
it's like
crazy.
Like it's not crazy. That's reality. It was gonna happen.
Right.
Having teachers subscribe though,
and to just think about like how that I know, because then her friends are obviously what 17, 18, 17, 18, 16 if they start school early.
I would not want my children to be friends with
19 if they're super senior. We're gonna be honest. Some of them didn't make it.
Again, I would not want my children to be friends with her.
I would be like, no, you cannot hang out with her. No. She's living in a different type of life than you're going to have access to and you're going to operate in. There's no need for that.
Actually,
y'all don't align.
Homeschool. You ain't going to school tomorrow.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chocolate Espresso Podcast. It's the main crew. We got Noir, we got Aaliyah, we got King Des, and we're here to talk to you about maybe some shenanigans in the Olympics. Come check us out.
Shenanigans in the Olympics, some effery, some debauchery, some tomfoolery. Yeah, I just want to start off and say something. The Olympics was supposed to be about honoring your country, about the heroes, the athletes, the cream of the crop, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. They're supposed to be the best of the best, and they trained 4 years plus to make sure that they honor that at the Olympics, and now all we got is adult entertainers doing it for your country. What happened? I just want to know.
These people are literally their country's world ambassadors. Like they're like literally representing the entire country in front of literally billions of people. Like this is one of the few things in the world that is watched by billions of people.
I mean, there's still people at the Olympics that in excuse me, at and in the Olympics that represent their country well.
Yeah,
it's not all just messed up. Yeah, and shenanigans. There's still people who represent their country. Like I said, do their country well, represent their country well.
Right.
So it's not a complete wash.
I will say the whole year was not a complete wash. That is definitely true. Shout out Simone Biles for literally bringing 9. Is she at 9 now? 9 medals now?
I think so.
Yeah,
9
she's like
gold.
Yeah, at this point she's complete. The Olympics is her side mission. Like she's that good. Like she does this for fun. Like that's crazy. That is crazy. Shout outs to her. She was gorgeous up there. Shout out to getting another medal. Boom. And representing well.
So I went on Olympics.com, which is I guess the Olympics actual website. The original value of the Olympians, is that Olympians? Is that really
Olympians?
Olympians.
Right.
No, there's no N. It's ISM. Olympians.
What?
Wait, what?
That had to be a typo.
Can I see?
Olympians.
Hold on. Look for the word again. If they typed it like that again.
Olympians.
Olympism. The original values of the Olympism.
Just say Olympians. It sounds
it's not
better.
Olympians.
I'm calling them Olympians because it sounds better.
I mean, you're clearly,
it's called bubonics.
You and illiterate most of the time, but it's Olympian. Olympism.
So who's illiterate now? Anyway,
at least I didn't say Olympians.
They're Olympians.
There's no IUM.
Olympians sounds cute. Like, share, and subscribe if you agree.
No.
You just made me lose my spot. Anyway, the original values is to express the Olympic Center where we encourage effort, preserve humanity's dignity, and develop harmony. The opener is none of that. Striving for excellence and encouraging people to be as best as they can be. Demonstrating respect in many different manners. Respect toward yourself. That's the rules, your opponent, and the environment, the public. And celebrating friendship, which is quite unique in the Olympic Games, and the event that brings people together every few years. Isn't few supposed to be 2? Well, I guess there is the Winter Olympics too, right? That happens.
Yeah, but
okay.
Few was not. Few was actually 3 or more.
I thought it was
because couple is 2.
Yeah.
So few is 3 or more.
You're right.
Because twice is 2. Once is 1, twice is 2, and a few would be 3 or more.
Let me ask you a serious question. So, if it's supposed to be cream of the crop, best of the best, respect towards all the staff, should somebody have an OnlyFans account in your country? If you're the best of your country and you got an OF account, should you be participating in that?
Okay. Here's my take. Like, you know, be free will to do what you do, but I wouldn't. It shouldn't be brung into that environment. You remember that one conversation we were talking about, like fashion always says something, and you gotta be mindful of your atmosphere. If you bumming it any other time, you could be Nicki Minaj. If you show up to that Olympian game, you better be appropriate. Like, I mean, like that is so that's the environment.
Twerking after you get your medal, is that appropriate?
No,
but it's culture.
It's not. That's not even. First of all, let's talk about the woman who did it. The woman who did it ain't even part of the culture that it come from.
I mean, true.
Look at what the people of the culture handled themselves with etiquette and decency, because we all know that their mama would check them if they got home and did that stuff.
She was just excited. Come on, she's appealing to the lower generation. Be kind.
Look, just because you do that on your OF account doesn't mean you need to do that in the public.
Oh my god! You know what though?
Like, my kids didn't subscribe to your OF. Why did they get to see that after you?
Who says that they can't? Just get a hold of Daddy's debit card. Subscribe. You know what though? On a serious
stay
note,
away
though,
from that credit card.
On a very serious note, though, I am curious. Like, because I'm more curious about your thoughts on this one. Why do we allow these people to be on a platform where they can be quote unquote idolized if they're not the best individuals to be idolized? Like, I'm not saying they're bad people, right? Like, she could be genuinely a decent person for all we know. I don't care to know her, but she could be. It's just, you're an adult entertainer and your country sent you out as the best representative for this.
And because of the sport, not because of that.
Yeah. But I was like, but can you separate the two? And if we allow her to separate the two, why can't we allow others to separate their two?
Or who else?
Oh, there's a lot of tomfoolery in the industries, right? Like, okay, what was that dude's name? Michael Jordan. Why couldn't he bet on his own games while she can have an OnlyFans account? Or account?
Yeah. Okay.
Why are we regulating certain aspects on certain athletes and not all of them? Why allow one person to have something and say, okay, let's idolize them because they're really good at what they do, and then stop one from being able to do the other?
I think it is separable, and I think that when the person is in this environment, it's their responsibility to separate them. Like, I don't think we would have had a problem with her having an OF account if she wasn't trying to throw it back on public television after pole vaulting. It'd have been like, okay, that's her business over there, but she conducted herself appropriate in this environment.
I don't want
because I don't care if my CEO's wife has an OnlyFans. If I'm at work, I shouldn't know that.
Yeah, but the CEO's wife
should technically be separate.
It should be separate.
I don't think it should be.
Ew.
It should be. What's wrong with you?
We both did it. Letting the vocal fry.
Personally, I don't think it should be separated. I think if you're in a certain industry, like you know what? If companies can hire you and you do something that's out of left field that has nothing to do with the company, you're not acting as a representative of that company, and yet they can still fire you for your actions outside of that. Why are we giving them a pass? Why again? This goes back. Why are we allowing passes for certain people? That again, they're idols. We're idolized because they're on a platform as an Olympian. Because that makes them an idol.
See, that's the problem right there. Idol. You're not supposed to idolize anyone. So you idolize, not you per se, but idolizing somebody who, when they get off that stage, is no different than you. They still got to pay bills. They still got to pay their taxes.
That's why
they still got to do. They still got to worry about their day-to-day lives. So idolizing somebody, you ain't supposed to idolize nobody but God.
Yeah, natural.
So,
also, according to what you just said, I did read further down the line, there were other OnlyFans people in the Olympics.
Now,
and the guy was saying how he was like, look, I'm one of the top 3 in the whole world, but I got to do this to supplement my income because, like, this is like $36,000 US. Like,
yeah, they don't pay them. They don't pay the athletes nothing. Most of the athletes get paid from the sponsorships if they're good enough, and that's where they can make their money.
Yeah.
But my thing is, well, why is this your only job? Like, you can work other stuff or go back to your country and demand from your country, hey, if I'm this country's hero and I'm the best of the best in this industry and I brought us home some medals,
that part,
pay me.
That part.
You know,
honestly, seriously, that part.
That's the morally right answer.
Like, that's the answer.
That's the morally right answer. But the world we live in is very much exploitive.
Sure,
they'll exploit all that. They're
but you should be. That's
like there's
only a few countries where they're gonna say no.
I think it's Israel where it's like,
even if you're gonna exploit me, you should still pay me.
No, hear me out.
That they don't have to though. But because it depends on how the country is ran. We have a lot of luxuries in this country.
You pay supermodels.
But supermodels,
you exploit them.
No. Hold on. I'm about to answer your question. You just talked about God. There's a lot of countries that serve God where you can't be a supermodel. You can't. You're fast. They don't value that.
Yeah. Okay.
So why am I going to pay you for that?
Pay you for what?
They're not going to pay you to be a supermodel. They're going to tell you to get a job.
Yeah, but okay, but in those countries,
they're going to tell you to cover your body.
But in those countries, okay, so okay, prime example. So we're not talking about those countries. We're talking about the countries in which supermodels exist in. We're talking about the countries in which basketball players exist in. We're talking about. Come on. Hold on. Let's not talk about all the people who are also being exploited.
Wait. In those same countries where they will tell you to go be a wife to your husband, they value soccer, so they got idols in soccer or in football,
and they pay them.
And rugby and other sports.
The number one paid sport for a woman is soccer. The world will respect. The world will respect soccer till the day. The whole planet's going to respect soccer until the day everybody dies. Like, we already know that.
It's football.
But, there are certain different values in different countries and certain different standards in upholding. Like, we have a country where you can just be a model and that can pay your bills. For as long as people are willing
to model, you can just you can make the dumbest videos on YouTube.
You can make the dumbest videos. I could flip this 1,000 times and it's stimulating and it gets 1 million views and I can get a paycheck for that.
Yep.
Like, but again, in other worlds and other standards of living, they see those things as luxury or out there or outliers. Like, there's a lot of beautiful people in Africa. There are a lot of beautiful people in Africa, but you can go down the line. They do not get paid as much as like a California girl shaking her butt on TikTok. They don't have that luxury. That's not an option.
But you know what though? There's only a few countries out of all the countries that participate in the Olympics where you wouldn't be able to go back and say, pay me. China is one of them. Russia might be another one of them.
You can't do that. You can't go to Israel. You can't go anywhere in China. You cannot go to Korea and tell them to pay you.
Well,
North Korea. South Korea will pay.
Well, here's the thing, right?
South Korea will pay if you get sponsorships. They'll pay you. If
people stopped participating in the Olympics, then what?
Because again, China says you ain't gonna stop. Your family is.
Okay, but here's the thing. Because the thing is, they don't have. I mean, in most countries, they there are countries in which they will produce a new performer every year. Yeah, like it's not the same person. Like Simone Biles isn't everywhere every year. You know, like it's not a recurrent. She's one, but there are people who aren't recurrent every year. They will produce a new athlete every year. Now, what if you don't have an athlete to produce? Then your country's out. So here's the thing: you're either going to pay, or
you say, "I got your family." If you ever want to see him again. Joking aside, China aside, I get what you're saying though. Like you're right.
Because here's the thing: they don't have certain freedoms in other countries, but you gonna tell me I have to, like, you gonna put a gun to my head and make me backflip? You gonna put a gun to my head and make me take a dive?
Again, China don't play that.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna do that on national television.
China did. Listen, China flat out this year said to the Olympic Committee, if we see any political anything about Taiwan, that's it. They'll pull sponsorship. That's why you saw reports of people who had Go Taiwan as the Taiwanese team, and they were walking up to them and ripping their signs out of their hand. There's a lot of videos of them doing it because China said, cut that crap out. That's China against China. Doesn't make any sense. But that's as far as they wanted.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's something that y'all should have handled at home before the Olympics started. Because if y'all didn't want China against China, then why just send two different teams out?
Well, because,
that's stupid.
Taiwan is Taiwan and China is China. But China says no, it's China against China.
You're in a whole nother continent. You're in a whole nother country. How much control should a country have over what's going on in a whole nother country? As far as the Olympics,
do you want your phone or your phone case or your earbuds or your iPad?
The only problem with that is the corruption is big when it comes to sports and money.
When it comes to money,
yeah. And the Olympics is one of the number one, like, the amount that they pay for just a
Olympics number one, FIFA number two.
Right. The amount of money that you can get if you land an advertisement for 2 minutes in something like the Super Bowl, and then the freaking Olympics is like times 1,000 that. Like,
I wonder if those ads even work. I would love to know the data. Like, I would love to know this is what I would want to know.
Because they do pay like $100 million for some of these things.
I want to know if you started a new company and it was only the span of the Olympics, and you had a really good ad. Like, let's just say, like, okay, I'm gonna remember this.
Like minute and a half.
Like that Chef Boyardee one where the can fell off the thing. Something you can remember for years to come. I want to know how many people would call that number on the screen or go to your website. A brand new company just started. Nobody you didn't exist until the day before. I would love to know if it works.
But it's marketing. Marketing works.
Yeah, marketing works, but I don't need to know the little blue, the salt. I'm gonna just describe it. The salt.
Yeah.
And it's blue, and it has a little yellow girl with the umbrella.
Morton's?
Yeah. I don't know the name of it, but I know where to go. Right. They don't advertise because they don't need to, and if they do, I'd be like, "Why are you advertising this?" Coca-Cola, Pepsi, stop. Stop. Like, frankly, just stop, right?
Like, every time I go to AMC theaters, I see the Coca-Cola bottle. Mm-hmm. It's every time, and it's the same actor that you always have talking about. Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Please. Yeah. I'm sorry, I feel some type of way.
There are brands today that don't need to advertise for 20 years, and we still know what they are because just guilty by association. They're at the parties.
Arm & Hammer.
Arm & Hammer is
paper.
But are we saying they don't need to advertise on the Olympics?
When's the last time you seen a light bulb as advertisement? Again, I proved my point.
Are we talking about them on the Olympics, or are we talking about just in general?
Oh, we got a little sidetracked. It was in general.
I was trying to bring it back.
Yeah. But
I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so the Olympics, though, man. I mean, I'm at the point in my life where I just see this and I'm just like, we need to stop giving passes to people who make a lot of money. Yeah. Especially if they're on a platform where people go know them. Like, if you pointed out somebody special or somebody who has a lot of fame or something to me, I'd be like, I don't know who that is. Right. There'll be somebody. Jackie Chan would be the only one I would probably, or maybe Chris Tucker too. But
Chris Tucker.
The only two people. If you were like, oh, is that? And I look at them and be like, oh, that's Jackie. That'd be the only two.
That's it.
I'd be the only two. If you saw, oh, look, Beyonce, I'd be like, who? Couldn't point her out. Couldn't point her out. If you pointed at Sierra, I'd be like, maybe.
feel like there's a
Beehive
little
finna come
bias.
after you.
The Beehive, like, are you serious?
don't
Like, have you
post
seen
this.
her?
I couldn't point them out. I don't
Don't
pay
post
attention
this.
to that.
All of her demons finna come after you.
You going this one
But-
video gonna get 10,000 views real quick.
But you know what though? But
5,000 jumps down.
But again, that goes back to like why we giving them a pass. I would not want the U.S. to give the platform to somebody going to the world like that, representing us, and they have these things in their closet that is like wide open. Their front door is wide open. Their garage door is wide open. Their house is made of mirrors. Like we can see everything. Like why are we giving them the floor? I don't
But the
want
thing
that.
is, okay, so we're going to talk about an athlete that has an OnlyFans. How is that not the equivalency to the opener of the Olympics?
I said that.
But no, how is that not like
Hold on.
what I'm
Who
saying
was the opener
is
for the Olympics? Because I didn't see who.
what I'm saying is if you understand that an athlete has an OnlyFans, y'all are shocked by the opener. Not y'all, but people are shocked by the opener of the Olympics.
I told you, 2024's Olympics was dead in the water from the start.
But that's what I'm saying.
opener
like,
was,
how are we surprised?
No.
It wasn't.
The opener. So one of the events for the opener was the Last Supper, but instead they had.
It wasn't an event. It was
It was just like a little.
I think they
pass
a montage. They just did it.
But everybody in the acting in the last, like the painting from the last summer, even though they said it wasn't, it was individuals that identified.
No, they were trans
people there, huh?
They were trans.
They were not trans. They were drag queens.
Or drag queens. They were people who were dressing
I'll
as
pull it
the
up for you.
opposite gender, and they had everything that would like the crown or the halo from the sun that Jesus had
very
behind them.
sacrilegious.
They were wearing that, and they said, "Oh, it's not the Last Supper." Like they 100, like you could, bro. What do they take like a couple of billion people on this planet for?
Especially
Think about that.
With when a third of that population is like that actual demographic.
Oh,
that
yeah.
believes in either a subcategory or that in full.
They did what they did.
Very, very wild.
They have drag shows for elementary schools now. Mm-hmm. They allow it. Listen,
I'm done with this podcast.
Target
for
the
today.
youth.
Hey, you better read that book.
They target children, and unfortunately, what was bad when the Olympic Committee had to say, "Hey, we have to revise our closer to make sure it's not offensive." No, you're revising it because you realize nobody was vibing with the first one, the opener, and you didn't think there was going to be a backlash for it. And so my thing is like,
let's
what is it?
let's
What is
not
it when you're
placate
inconsiderate?
into the stupidity. They knew there was going to be backlash.
They knew there was going to be like
They knew.
They just wanted to.
They're okay with there being backlash. People are
what is
okay.
it?
People who mock Jesus are okay doing it.
Right.
That's the problem. That's the statement. People who mock Jesus openly are okay with doing it.
why don't they do that with Muslims?
Because come on.
They didn't. Hey, I'm just saying. If you gonna do it to one, do it to them all. If you were doing it to one, do it to them all.
We won't be able to post this video.
Listen, if you're gonna, I'm gonna say it. I said what I said. If you're gonna do it to one, do it to them all, and they won't.
You don't have nobody going down the Hindu lines.
Listen,
Come on now. Because here's the thing, right? Don't nobody believe in Jesus until they go to church and have to put their hand on, until they go to court and have to put their hand on the Bible. So you ain't putting your hand on the Quran in
Listen.
court.
at some point, they gonna start praying. And the reality of it is 2024's Olympics was shot it was dead in the water to begin with. I knew what it was from the start, and it was going to be a crap show all the way through, and it has been. All the reports that have been coming through, people who've been one guy got arrested for his drug abuse, trying to purchase with a couple of other people.
He
did make the medal and stuck around and decided he was going to go purchase some drugs.
Oh, he was one of the person. He was an athlete.
Yeah, he didn't win a medal and went off the deep end. And I was like,
depressed. So he was like, "Let me get some stress relief."
There's
a whole red light district he could have done that at without the drugs, and he did the drugs.
On a happier note, let's talk about my favorite part of the Olympics.
What? It ending?
What was your favorite part?
My guy, Mr. Sharpshooter.
Bruh.
Yo,
My guy with his hand in his pocket. My guy is clearly an assassin in his country.
My man.
He's a
and then
legend.
his nonchalant.
He said,
energy.
I rolled out of bed.
When you look
this.
at him compared,
For this?
like they were like, Korea sent this man, looked like he came from the future. Like this other man came with all these gadgets on and everything. This man
Rolled out of
literally
bed.
was like,
Sorry, I was late, y'all.
right.
And then I was telling him the only reason why we know the only reason why he wasn't hitting that target in the middle. He like, gotta make it believable. Gotta make it believable.
I don't want to end up on a couple of lists.
They literally,
They was gonna put me on a watch list
this
going
man
back.
is a hitman. But the way he did it, you could like, maybe he is. Like, or he a retired hitman.
He trained John Wick. Y'all, you know?
They need to do a Netflix
They
special on
want him
this
out,
man.
they didn't want him out the closet like that.
He did an interview and he said, "I'm just a naturalist. You know, I don't need all that
Sir.
tech." But in actuality, I mean, he is the country. I can't remember what country he came from, but I think he's
Turkey. I think it was Turkey. Yep.
He was like, "We didn't have the technology, so."
My man said I had to be good because of the
Nah, he made-
requirements.
He said
You know, it was like that meme when it was like
his publicist.
He was like, "No, we're not the same. You got a 97 because that was all you could get on the test. I got 100 because that was all there was to get on the test." That was that man.
Nah, the turkey publicist said, "Let's come up with something. We got to come up with something for the reason you look the way you look and act the way you act."
He's the most
This
famous
man-
person in the Olympics.
This man trained with special black ops from the U.S. As a kid, when he got saved by an op gone wrong, and they didn't think they were gonna see him again in the Olympics. Somebody somewhere in the U.S. is like, "Didn't I used to like? Didn't we used to shoot the cans?"
Is that Johnny? Is that Johnny? Look at him. Is that Johnny?
That's crazy.
That's freaking Johnny. Johnny's top secret, but Johnny's in the Olympics. That's freaking Johnny. That's crazy.
That's my boy.
Mans was not
I
playing.
know him personally.
He literally strolled in.
He's like,
me
"Oh,
know
look
if
at
you
that." He came
somebody
in. He woke up
outta
one.
here.
He woke up, told his daughter, "I'll be right back."
Somebody said that he the only reason why he didn't hit the bullseye is because it wasn't a moving target. I can't.
He said, "There are a couple people I want with me in the apocalypse. It's that guy.
That guy.
He one of them."
That guy's one. Oh man.
Lord. All right, we just want getting along though. Again, 2024 Olympics is dead in the water. I don't want to hear it. We only got two saving graces.
Simone Biles and the guy from Turkey.
And the guy from Turkey.
Like that's it.
And okay, well,
It's being held up by a
because the
Turkish
U.S.
man and
team
a-
did their thing. Jordan Childs came out there and did her thing.
Yeah. Oh no, they
did
tried
her
to screw
thing.
over Jordan Childs. They tried to say like they appealed for a difficulty test
Oh,
too
yeah.
late, and they're trying to strip her medal.
They said that was so risky to do, but they did it.
You know what though?
They did it anyway.
I'm not a fan of like all the little rules that they come up, like a difficulty test. If you can do it, do it. If you fail,
it
you
was hard
fail.
when you did it.
Like, what are you
how dare
mad
you
about?
tell me, ooh, I don't know if you're hard enough. Really?
My thing
I would
is-
cut somebody out.
My thing is though, the whole point of the Olympics at some point was to showcase your abilities
Literally.
in a
It was
fair
supposed to be
competition.
difficult
You
on
can't be
purpose.
mad because the competition is better than you. That just means you failed at it. Dude, look at what they did. Look at what they did, and try to repeat it. And if
And
you're
do
not
better.
capable of it, your country needs to produce somebody who can.
Right.
Why are you mad?
I mean,
And it's competitive. The Olympics is supposed to be
Simone Biles got
the leader of the
She got two difficulty, whatchamacallits named after her.
Who you talking about, Simone Biles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Biles.
The
But
Biles.
she
Named
has-
after her. And
She
then
has
she did.
a trick named after her.
But wasn't the thing about this Olympics was like she did a better one? So like this like supposed to be like the Biles 2.0
Yeah,
or
so
something
she
like that.
it's the Biles 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she,
How you out? Come on.
she I told you the Olympics for her is a side quest.
She said this is not the mission.
When we talk about the main characters in anime, she's her own main character. Like she's it. That's what it's like. You seen like when she was standing on the podium and everybody who came with her, we don't even know who they is. She gave her whole team the side character treatment. They got off screen.
The jealousy in that audience must be crazy. Low key
no,
though.
they're. You can tell that they're tight as a team.
There's admiration.
They're tight as a team. So
I remember when a few Olympics back, and when she was younger, and everybody was like, "Oh, we don't know if her team and her," because she was just kind of stuck to her own. She was a little bit more like off on her own. But then as she kept going. You can definitely see like they've gotten closer. They've definitely gotten closer.
I love her. I mean, period. But I love her the way she approaches like any like when she's getting ready to go and like do something, you know, like the way she approaches it. Like people like her teammates will be talking to her and then she'd just be like zone face. And you can just tell like she's about to get a goal. Like she's
not going to do anything else.
She's not going to do anything else but get the goal. Like
that's what she's going to do.
It's crazy to me. Like I said, it's these rules are crap. Either you can do it or you don't, and if you don't, that's on you. Right. So, I mean, I guess they don't want to encourage somebody. I mean, like, when you talk about the science behind it, like, okay, there might be an advantage because of your height, your limbs, you know, your muscle tissue. They said that about
Simone. She's shorter, so it's easier for her.
Like, she's
okay.
She is quite
she's
short.
so tiny.
Okay,
very short.
But that's the thing. Then your country needs to have your black horse.
Right.
Go out and find somebody small.
Good Lord.
Make it work. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure it out.
Somebody who has dwarfism. You know.
Good.
Okay.
That's a word. That's a word. That one's not yet. That one's not black.
But you know what I mean? Like just find somebody small, find somebody like her and build them up.
Yeah, but it's not even her. It's not her height that.
But then also
is the reason why she's.
It's also the hard work and the dedication that they put into
she's
it.
a beast.
Like there's a someone once said this, and I believe it's so hard to be true, and I think I'm learning it now. Innate talent can only take you so far. Like if you do not capitalize on that talent and go even further, like you're still gonna lose out to the hard worker. At the end of the day, nothing beats hard work. You know, nothing beats hard work. Like if you don't believe me, you know, you can ask
Tom Brady
fans, you know, OnlyFans man.
Oh boy.
Ask our OF friends. Nah, the fact that there's an 18-year-old still in high school that has an OF and is doing better than half the staff.
That is crazy. Like to be honest, I feel like that's the point when the ownership, like the OnlyFans platform, needs to go and shut down that account. Like, but that's the time.
Why?
That
She's legal.
No.
Now you're trying to take money out her pocket.
Yeah, you jealous?
She in high school.
She can get money in her pocket at 21.
Nah, she got it at 18.
I mean, I agree with you, but
because if I go and shut her down, then it's like, oh, you're a hater. Trust me, I ain't even seen nothing, and I don't want to. I just don't want nobody else to until she's of age. Because like, what's the difference between a week before 18 and a week after?
Legal.
Nothing.
Wow. The 7 days or 7 years. That's the difference between the two.
oh my gosh.
Straight up.
When did I decide to be the only female here?
It's just, I mean, somebody like that though really didn't give life a chance. That's really what it is.
Definitely not giving
didn't
life
even
a
try.
chance.
And
Like,
unfortunately, like,
and unfortunately, she was just given an environment where that was supported, rather than people hindering and actually stepping in to stop it.
She did an interview. And said like she had already had people who she knows, like teachers, that subscribed to her thing. And
That's
it's like
crazy.
Like, it's not crazy. That's reality. It was gonna happen.
Right.
Having teachers subscribe though,
And to just think about like how that, I know, because then her friends are obviously what, 17, 18, 17, 18, 16 if they start school early.
I would not want my children to be friends with her.
19 if they had super senior, we're gonna be honest. Some of them didn't make it.
Again, I would not want my children to be friends with her.
I would be like, no, you cannot hang out with her. No. She's living in a different type of life than you're going to have access to and you're going to operate in. There's no need for that.
Actually,
y'all don't align.
Homeschool. You ain't going to school tomorrow. How about it?
We switching states.
I just because I never wanted to do it, I thought about not. But if I given these next, I might have to. The homeschooling might have to happen. This is University Smith. This is Smith University.
Smith University.
Like,
it's again.
If you want I'll give you your college fund as your free money if you graduate.
What did what's his name say? It's a dangerous world out there. It really is. I mean, you can't trust nobody. And unfortunately, like I said, even the Olympics is tainted now. I mean, it was tainted before. The corruption was one thing, but you just tarnishing your country's honor when you do that. I think, again, bring back shame.
Yeah.
Bring back shame.
Yeah.
Listen, she can live her life. All right, cool. You want to have that account? Have it. I don't care.
Bring back shame, not as in just.
It's not even bring back shame. It's bring back coof.
Bring back responsibility. Like, shame accountable to what you're doing that is actually shameful. Like, this is shameful. Like, this is taboo. No, you should not be.
That also brings me back to the my last thoughts. That brings me back to an article that came out about a couple that was I think it was the female or the male. I can't remember if they were both teachers or what, but they had an OF account together, and they were doing stuff after hours,
in the school,
inside the school, and they found out and fired them. And there's another one where the lady had an account and geo-locked it so nobody from the state should be able to see her account, and somehow people from her state still got access to it, and complained that she got fired. You couldn't believe, like, well, they don't pay me enough to teach, and I need the money to pay my bills, and I love to teach. All you teaching is your students what you look like without your clothes on.
So this is the obtuse angle of my derriere.
Bruh, I'm telling you, it's crazy, and like they don't believe what they did was wrong, because again, it was off. In her case, it wasn't on school grounds. It was after hours. It was on her own time. It was her own business, but that goes back to, okay, well, if students can find you anywhere now, online, at a grocery store, wherever, you should still be an example. Right,
etiquette
of something. They should be able to look at you and go, "I like Miss Elliott," or "Oh, Mr. Smith is dope. He's a good guy." When I saw him, he was playing basketball on the corner with a bunch of kids at the I don't know, the rec center or whatever. Like, he really cares. Like, you should make a difference in these children's lives. Not, oh yeah, when I saw Miss Quancy. I saw Miss Quancy. Miss Quancy was having some fun with that cone in that parking lot that other day.
Oh my gosh!
And then the kids go to that parking lot to see if that cone's still there, because they ain't got nothing else better to do.
They don't. I'm telling you. They ride in their parents' vehicle with literally like, oh, just come back before the night lights come on. They are determined. They made this mission yesterday.
They made a mission to find that parking lot. Trust me, internet's done a lot more with a lot less information.
I was about to say the internet can find. They'll use. Yeah. What was it? Who was it? Like, they found the pothole. There was a video about a pothole, and the internet went and found the location of the pothole, and another guy came and filled the pothole for him. But that was like a wholesome outcome. But it goes way worse before it goes better.
Yeah. So that all being said, though, I mean, it's like I said, it's a dangerous world.
Very.
It's really bad. And when I think of America, I would not want anybody representing America to have an image like that.
Yeah.
I would rather they be the. Yeah,
I do not want Amber Rose at the Olympics. I stand on that. And I don't have nothing against Amber Rose. May her have the best life that she has. But if you were like, okay, we got to pick people for the Olympics, I'd be like, no, like, hands down, no, thank you.
Yeah, I built schools. I help feed the homeless. I want the
Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Yeah, I donate and work at a nonprofit, and on my spare time, I train for the Olympics kind of person. Not that I got an OF account.
Pay my bills.
Now, to be fair though, to end it all off with, some of the people in that article did say that they also thought about making an OF account, and it was to solely help educate about the sport in hopes that would help give them money so they can live. Because and my exact response to that
wasn't supposed to be for sexual content, which is why it initially got shut down when all this stuff first kicked off.
Yeah, but that's where all their money coming from.
Now they're getting billions from there. Like,
yeah, but I think now my response to those people is just start a YouTube channel. You'll make more.
Do Patreon. Do YouTube.
Start a Patreon. YouTube will pay them more than an OF account will, because who's on OF?
Subscriptions only. It's subscriptions only.
Yeah, so you might as well just start a YouTube account.
Nah, Patreon.
Our Patreon.
Patreon makes more than I think that Patreon secretly makes more than YouTube because here's the thing: you got to pay for.
Yeah. There's issues with Patreon too,
as
though,
it starts,
because
not
Patreon had issues
eventually.
with paying out people if you void their terms and conditions, which is subjective to change whenever they feel like it. Even if you like today, you can accept the terms and conditions, and then you post something that's blah 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 blah, and then it goes. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, I'm glad to see the 2024 Olympics is over. Great.
That was the best comedy show I've watched this year.
2024 best comedy show on the block. Y'all, it's getting late. Again, Chocolate Espresso crew out, and don't mind our clothes. We just really like this uniform,
right?
Outfit. Peace.